she has to stand in front of the mirror every day. Even when her legs go numb, she doesn't dare to move a single finger, because on the other side of the mirror, there are mysterious creatures living. Every night, they appear and begin mimicking human movements outside. As soon as there's any noise, they'll immediately tear a person to pieces. People once tried to escape this terrifying forest, but oddly enough, no matter which direction they ran, they always ended up back at the starting point. And those who want to survive must stand in front of the mirror in the safe house at night. But Lisa from the group has long had enough of this constant fear. To escape this terrifying forest, Lisa would always make marks on the big trees during the day when she went out for food. After who knows how many days, Lisa finally walked out of the safe house holding a small bird. No matter how much her teammates tried to stop her, Lisa left without looking back. Just like that, Lisa followed the marks she made and kept moving forward. She didn't know how long she'd been walking, but finally, she saw an open area ahead. She thought she had finally escaped, but when she broke through the forest, she found herself facing another endless wilderness. At that moment, Lisa realized, no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't escape this forest in just one day. Just as Lisa was about to lose hope, the elderly woman from the group appeared. She said many people had tried to escape like Lisa, but they all failed. As the night began to fall, Lisa had no choice but to follow the old woman back to the safe house. This failure made Lisa realize escaping was impossible. She could only survive by following the jungle rules. That day, while going out to find food with her companions as usual, she suddenly noticed a big problem. She had never seen those mysterious creatures. The creatures the old woman always talked about. Maybe they were just lies to scare them. To test her theory, Lisa took her companions to the mysterious creature's nest to see if they really existed. With the help of her companions, Lisa quietly descended deeper into the cave. But what she didn't expect was, when she reached the bottom of the cave, she didn't see a single shadow of a mysterious creature. Instead, she found some human tools. So, she had her companions pull the tools up. But just then, a strange sound suddenly came from behind her. In that moment, Lisa froze in fear. Thankfully, her companion quickly threw down a rope, which allowed Lisa to escape with her life. But little did they know, it was because they stole something that a huge disaster was about to strike the group. At this point, they were completely unaware of this. They even used the tools they pulled up to make a simple camera. The goal was to clearly see the true face of the mysterious creatures when night fell. Sure enough, that night, a pair of legs appeared on the screen. Before anyone could react, they heard a man's voice calling for help outside. Unexpectedly, the female teammate, hearing the voice, uncontrollably walked toward the door. Turned out, the voice outside was that of her missing boyfriend. She immediately wanted to open the door to let him in, but the old woman stopped her. To avoid a tragedy, the old woman told the girl to ask the man outside, a question only the two of them knew. So, the girl asked him when her birthday was, but the man couldn't answer. The creature outside, realizing it was exposed, suddenly became furious. Without hesitation, it smashed the camera, then began to kick the door furiously. To survive, everyone had to stand perfectly still in front of the mirror. Little did they know, this time the creature was really angered. Shattered the mirror. Just when they thought they were doomed, the creature outside suddenly went still. Clearly, it was testing them. But the next night, Lisa and the old woman couldn't make it back to the safe house in time. Mike inside refused to open the door. To avoid being killed by the mysterious creatures of the forest, the old woman had no choice but to take Lisa and run under a pile of dead wood. Turned out, after years of observation, the old woman knew that these dead trees could mask a person's scent. As time passed, the mysterious creatures did indeed crawl out of the cave. To stay alive, the two didn't dare make any sound, because right above their heads, a creature was slowly crawling by. Luckily, the smell of dead wood covered their human scent, so the creature didn't notice Lisa and the old woman. But as the two shook in fear, they suddenly saw in shock countless creatures gathering outside the safe house, mimicking the actions of the people inside. And when Mike inside realized Lisa hadn't been discovered, he deliberately called out loudly to alert the creatures.
They're not here! They're not in here with us!
In that moment, Lisa and the old woman panicked, seeing the creatures charge into the forest to search for them. They ran to the cabin door, begging Mike inside to open it. When the wooden door didn't move at all, Lisa said she had marked the forest trail and claimed she could lead everyone out of the terrifying woods. Only then did Mike slowly open the door. As soon as the old woman stepped in, she was ready to scold Mike, but the next moment, the creatures had already reached the cabin. To survive, Everyone stood frozen before the mirror again. To make them listen, the old woman revealed a shocking truth. When she was young, she was a biologist. She came to this ancient forest to study the alien creatures living here, but unexpectedly she became their research subject. Those creatures had been copying human behavior. Just then, a loud banging hit the door, and the whole cabin began shaking violently. It was clear the creatures were completely enraged. To keep them from breaking in, they pushed a table hard against the doorway, without realizing that, because of this, they made a new discovery. Under the table, there was a hidden basement entrance. Seeing the creatures about to break in, they smashed the basement cover desperately. The next second, a pitch-black tunnel appeared before them. Without thinking, they crawled inside, and just before the creatures broke down the door, everyone managed to hide in the basement. But once they got down there, they were stunned by what they saw. They found the basement filled with supplies, and even a computer. What surprised them even more was that the computer could still be turned on. Although it wasn't connected to the internet, they found hundreds of video clips inside, showing a biology professor recording his daily research on the alien creatures. The professor says everything went smoothly at first, but soon he unexpectedly found the creatures came near the cabin every night, imitating human movements and behavior, as if trying to blend into human life. So to study them more closely, the professor lured nearby villagers over and offered them to the creatures. Using this method, he eventually captured one alien life form. At this point, no one else dared to keep watching, but Lisa insisted on finishing all the videos. She never imagined that, in the final video, there was a hidden way to escape the forest. It turns out the professor had already mapped out an escape route. He left a small boat by a riverbed labeled 134, ready for anyone trying to flee. As long as they followed the direction the birds flew, they could make it out of the forest. Hearing there was still a chance to get out, everyone jumped around excitedly all night. At dawn the next morning, they climbed out of the basement, only to find the cabin had already been torn apart by monsters. But there was no time to think. They had to reach the boat at the 134 riverbed before dark. So they followed the markers and kept moving forward. No one knew how long they walked, but they finally arrived at location 134. Lisa immediately released the parrot from its cage. They thought following the bird's direction would lead them out safely, but fate had a cruel twist waiting for them. Soon after, the once clear sky suddenly poured heavy rain, and weather without sunlight was the perfect time for the creatures to hunt. The next second, a swarm of monsters crawled out of the caves. Hearing the noise, the group had no choice but to run along the riverbed. Very soon, they found the boat the professor mentioned. But right then, the girls suddenly realized Mike had vanished from the group. Before they could react, Mike appeared at the bank dragging the girl's boyfriend's body, but she instantly noticed it wasn't really him. She shouted for Mike to run back, but it was already too late. The next moment, Mike was taken away by a creature disguised as a human. Terrified, the others jumped onto the boat, but they had barely pushed off when the alien creatures chased after them. Everyone thought they were doomed, but to their surprise, the alien creatures couldn't swim. They could only stand helplessly on the shore, watching the group drift farther away. As the sunlight of the next day slowly lit up the forest, the three survivors finally escaped that terrifying place and returned to the human world.
You ladies all right?
Where's this bus going?
This bus goes all the way to Galway.
Can you take us there?